This is the first house, and first house, write down, first house always represents the personality of a person. Generally, the overall health represented by this particular house. The basic foundation of a person, his likes and dislikes, the thinking pattern of a man, the psychology of a person also represented by this house. The lord of this particular house, wherever it plays, in first, second, wherever it plays, it will try to prevent that house. The ascendant lord or the lord of this particular house always try to prevent that particular house where it plays. The dressing sense of a person, the hair of a person, the eyes, the psychology can also be represented by this house. The body language, the body structure also represented by this house. Whether the person will get any kind of mental issue or harassment or any mental ability or disability also represented by this house. So please note down first house. Let us come to this house. This is the second house of our horoscope. Please write down. It's also a house of speech, language. How does a person speak with anyone? Whether it's polite or harsh or arrogance can also be seen by this particular house. The taste also seen by this house. This house represents the taste of a person. The person wants to eat a bitter or sweety or salty or some spicy food. The consumption of food also represents this house. The expression while he talking with anyone also represent second house. The language, what are the language he knows? Like someone lives in America, he knows English. Like someone lives in Canada, he knows Canadian English. Like someone lives in Russia, he knows Russian. But if any kind of malefic like Rahu, like Saturn plays in this particular house, the person will generally knows more than two languages. Like person knows to talk in English, like person knows to talk in any kind of regional language or external language or foreign language. Like person lives in Germany, he knows German language. Also he knows English. Also he knows Spanish. Also he knows Russian. So depending upon the country or depending upon the place he lives, this house always represent the cash position of a person, the bank balance of a person, the bank balance or assets of his own family. What kind of assets he have, whether in form of gold or cash liquidity or in gems and jewelry or in gold. This house indicates the financial position, the wealth, the abundance of person. If any benefic planet like Venus, like Moon, like Jupiter, they generally try to give the best result over here, but the person usually love to eat or take sweety foods or citrus food. But if malefics are here, the person generally used to love spicy foods. While the Mars is expecting or placed in this house, the person generally used to love spicy food. Now coming to the third house. This house is very important for each and everyone because this house represents the effort of the person, the own effort of the person, the own effort of a man or woman, whatever it may be. But the efforts taken by the person usually represented by this particular house. The shoulder position, the shoulder, the gripping of person also represented by this particular house. The communication modes, what kind of mobile he have, what kind of online classes he have, what kind of online teaching he have, generally used to represent by this particular house. The documentation of that particular person, his mark sheet, his progress card also be seen by this particular house. The sibling also represent by this house, like younger sibling, not elder. Elder are seen by 11th house, but younger siblings used to seen by this particular house, that is third house. Any kind of online activity used to seen by this house. The government work, the contract, the government contract, the help from servant or the servant also seen by this house. The help provided by the person. The authentic information, whether the information you have is authentic or not, or you are going to scam by any information knowledge. is also be seen by this particular house, because that is why this house is very useful. The information provided by you is particularly authentic or not authentic can clearly seen by this particular house, because this information can help to lead your career. That is why this house is also very important. The information technology, the social media, the WhatsApp, the Facebook, the Google, the Microsoft, the internet technology also be seen by this particular house. That is third house. Now coming to this fourth house, write down fourth house, and we used to see this house as the happiness level or the happiness of the person also seen by this house. Any kind of satisfaction, soul satisfaction, inner peace seen by this house. Whether the person will have good property, good land, good assets, good house, good bungalow, good vehicle also be seen by this house. The mother also be seen by this house. The basic education like primary education also be seen by this particular house. This house represent the comfort level of a person also. This house represent the basic education up to schooling. From zero to schooling, we used to see fourth house, or the person is a careful person or not, whether the person will get caring from others or not is used to seen by this house, that is fourth house. If the person is a Vastu astrologer or Vastu person, the profession of Vastu, the profession of architecture, profession of builder also be seen by this particular house, that is fourth house. Whether you will buy a car or buy a property or land or bungalow, we used to see fourth house. If any malefic like North Node, like Saturn is here, the person will get 2 or 3 or more than 3 properties in his entire life by his self efforts. But the malefic like Venus, like Jupiter used to give great comfort, great luxury in his house. A very comfortable or very luxury vehicle is given by Venus if Venus is situated or placed in this particular house. So please remember, Venus, Jupiter, always Moon, always give excellent result. Or in terms of materialistic world, we used to see Dragon Head, North Node, Saturn here. If Saturn, North Node or Mars is here, the person will generally get a good kind of land, good property, good bungalow. Definitely he will have. Now coming to the fourth house, now coming to the fifth house, this is the fifth house of any person or any horoscope. So by this particular house, we used to see the enjoyment, the happiness of enjoyment, his likes, his creativity, his intellectuals, his intelligence, the person's development of mind. Whether the person is a solution provider or a solution maker or a kind of dumb person also be seen by this house. If this house is good, the person will definitely give the good solution or he will take good decision in his life. The chartered accountants, the doctors, the engineers, the consultants, the filmmakers, the artists used to seen by this particular house, or these profession are generally seen by this particular house. If fifth lord is good or like benefic like Venus or Jupiter is here, the person will definitely get time to time good money from the god side or from the if benefic planets like Jupiter or Venus is here, the person will get good gains in stock market, in gambling, in lottery, or any kind of risky investment. This house can also be seen as a risk minimization house. This house used to cut your risk profile. The entertainment, the childbirth, whether you will have a child or not, when you will get good child, when you will get married, when you will get a child after marriage can also be seen by this particular house. If this house is good, your children will definitely give you a lot of fame or success, or they will get good kind of wealth and position in their own life. So this house also represents the child of a person, whether the child may be male or female. Please come to the sixth house. This is the sixth house of any horoscope, and right down here, it's a house of service. It represents the service of a person, whether one can get the wealth by service or not, usually seen by this particular house. It's a service house. The debt, the amount of loan, also seen by this house. The kind of enemy, the number of enemies, or the characteristics of enemy also be seen by this house. The disease of a person, what kind of disease he will have, also be seen by sixth house. Like example, if any malefic is here, like Saturn, the person will have a long-term disease. At the same time, if planet like Mercury is here, the person will have any kind of nervous disease or disease related to the veins. If Jupiter is here, the person will get money, but as well as at the same time, he will have a lot of fat related issue like obesity, like extra fats in his own body. If Venus is here, the person will get diabetes, any kind of competition. The person will chase the competition or win the competition can also be seen by this house. This house usually used to give information about the competitors, whether the person will win or not, the person will win or lose, also be seen by this house. Any kind of election related to presidency, related to any activity in any organization, we used to seen by this house. If the house is good, the person will elect, the person will win. It will make a person as a president. The day-to-day servant activity, the person will get good servant. If good, the person will get good servants if the house is good. Or the planet like North Node, Rahu, the person used to have bad kind of servants. The person tried to cheat, the person or the servant tried to cheat. This house also gives the divorce or the separation of any spouse, the breakup of relationship also be seen by this particular house. The time to time payment of any debt also be seen by this house. The credit card, the credit money, the credit amount of any service also be seen by this house. If the house is good, the person will definitely get good credit card, good credit and good service, or the person can make his own career in any kind of service industry. The industry may be any technology, any kind of commissioning, any kind of business related, any kind of transition related, any kind of nursing related, any kind of loan related, any kind of service related, or the service person used to seen by this sixth house. If the house is good, the person will definitely get good amount of money also. One can make his own career in the field of medical can also be seen by this house. The amount of litigation, the court cases, the judgment of court, whether the person will get relief from the court or any judiciary matter also be seen by this sixth house. It's a very important house of any horoscope. The person will win the battle or lose the battle used to seen by this house. Please write down, ma'am. Please. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Now coming to the seventh house, ma'am, please after the class, please. I will definitely give the answer of each and every question. Please. Yes. Okay. Now coming to the seventh house. This is the house of legal partnerships. This is the house of business, the proprietary business, the retail business. It's a house of your spouse, your marriage. It's a house of your daily income, the daily transition activity, the daily cash activity in your own business. It's also a very good house, and we need to see carefully this house. Okay, because if the house is bad, you will cheat by any kind of misleading data or misleading transaction in your business, or any person can be cheated by misleading data or misleading journal entries. This house also give the information about the journal activity, the cash activity, the transaction activity of your business or your house or your expenses. We also seen this house as a shop owner, as a retail business owner or as a day-to-day person, cash. The daily life also be seen by this particular house. The person will get a good spouse can be easily seen by this particular house. When the person will get married, when the person will get his spouse or her spouse, seen by this house. So seventh house is also one of the most important house. The followership, the followers in any social media or in day-to-day life also seen by this house. This house indicates the followers in Instagram, in Twitter, in X, or in any social media platform, or in real practical life also. If this house is good, many person will follow you in your life. They will see you as his icon. You will be an icon of many person. So please note down the proprietary business, the acquisition of companies, the businesses, the shops, the shop owners, the legal partnerships in this particular house. If any kind of relationship between second house and seventh house, the person will definitely get good amount of money after his marriage. So please note down, if any kind of correlation found with 7th house and 11th house, the person will get good amount of gains or great gains after his marriage. Please note down the 7th house carefully.